It's another grim milestone for the United States, reaching record highs in daily infections over 5 months after the first infection was identified in the country.
It's a serious situation. In some respects, we've done very well. Right now, for example, the New York metropolitan area, which has been hit extraordinarily hard, has done very well in bringing the cases down and using the guidelines that we have very carefully put together in a stepwise fashion to try and carefully reopen their city and their state. However, in other areas of the country, we're now seeing a disturbing surge of infections.
While the tri-state area, which includes New York, New Jersey and Connecticut, continue to experience sharp declines in cases and hospitalizations, that's not so for the Sunbelt and western states, where numbers are rising, prompting this move from the Democratic East Coast governors.
We're announcing today a joint travel advisory. People coming in from states that have a high infection rate must quarantine for 14 days. And we have a calibration for the infection rate, and any state that goes over that infection rate, that state will be subject to the quarantine. It's only for the simple reason that we worked very hard to get the viral transmission rate down. We don't want to see it go up because a lot of people come into this region and they could literally bring the infection with them.
That advisory affects Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Utah and Texas. While globally, the European Union is considering barring U.S. travelers too.
What we're seeing in Florida is really rapid transmission in that 18 to 34 age group. And you're seeing a lot of cases come up. And granted, they weren't being tested at this level a couple months ago, but I also think they're testing positive at a higher and higher rate. So clearly, you have a lot of spread there. So folks who are in those vulnerable areas, in those categories, do your part. But then also, if you're in some of the maybe less risky demographics and those younger demographics, you need to do your part and make sure that you're not spreading it to people who are going to be more at risk for this.
In a country that raced to reopen economies in many parts due to what was viewed as a political upside.
I think I look better in the mask.
And where mixed messaging on the wearing of masks is beginning to have a detrimental effect.
Right now, the next couple of weeks are going to be critical in our ability to address those surgings that we're seeing in Florida, in Texas, in Arizona, and in other states.
Here's the problem with the numbers we're seeing. Despite the White House and others trying to portray a return to normalcy in the country, this virus, simply put, is not under control. Ask the dozens of Secret Service agents who were on site at President Donald Trump's Tulsa, Oklahoma campaign rally at the weekend, who've been ordered into self-quarantine after 2 of their colleagues tested positive for COVID-19. And with infections rising around the country, questions are being raised about the sustainability of some of the reopenings we've seen to date, and the implications of that on the millions of jobless who remain on the sidelines of this economy. Sherman Riceby's SABC News, New York.